in school textbooks. Some conservative Japanese politicians have deployed legalistic arguments in order to deny state responsibility, while others have slandered the survivors. Right-wing extremists threaten and intimidate journalists and scholars involved in documenting the system and the stories of its victims. We recognize that the Japanese government is not alone in seeking to narrate history in its own interest. In the United States, state and local boards of education have sought to rewrite school textbooks to obscure accounts of African American slavery or to eliminate unpatriotic references to the Vietnam War, for example. In 2014, Russia passed a law criminalizing dissemination of what the government deems false information about Soviet activities during World War II. And this year, the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide, a Turkish citizen can still be sent to jail for asserting that the government bears responsibility. The Japanese government, however, is now directly targeting the work of historians both at home and abroad. On November 7th, 2014, Japan's foreign ministry instructed its New York Consulate General to ask McGraw-Hill Publishers to correct the depiction of the comfort women in its world history textbook, Traditions and Encounters, A Global Perspective on the Past, co-authored by authors Herbert Ziegler and Jerry Bentley. On January 15th, the Wall Street Journal reported a meeting had taken place last December between Japanese diplomats and McGraw-Hill representatives. The publisher refused the Japanese government's request for erasure of 2 paragraphs stating the scholars had established the historical facts about comfort women. On January 29, 2015, the New York Times further reported that Prime Minister Abe directly targeted this textbook during a parliamentary session, stating that he was, quote, he was shocked to learn that his government had, quote, failed to correct things as it should have. We support the publisher and agree with author Herbert Ziegler that no government should have the right to censor history. We stand with the many historians in Japan and elsewhere who have worked to bring to light the facts of this and other atrocities of World War II. We practice and produce history to learn from the past. We therefore oppose the efforts of states and special interests to pressure publishers or historians to alter the results of their research for political purposes. The letter is then signed by 23 leading experts in East Asian history. I'm not going to read off their names. This is available at the American Historical Association website. But to give you a sense of the universities they come from: Princeton University, University of Connecticut, go Huskies, I'm an alumni. University of California, Santa Barbara, Princeton, Columbia University, Harvard University, the University of Colorado, Georgia Institute of Technology, American University, the University of Pittsburgh, Boston College, Cornell University, the University of California, San Diego, Notre Dame University, University of California, Irvine, and the University of Hawaii. At the end of this list, the CW History Department has added the following statement. On April 13th, the entire History Department at Central Washington University added their signatures to support the letter above and wholeheartedly endorsed the sentiments therein. Signed Professors Roxanne Easley, Chung Unan, Stephen Moore, Jason Dormady, Dan Herman, Jason Knurk, Kenneth Munsell, Margie Morgan, Lacey Farrell, and myself, Brian Carroll.
Thank you much for being here. This concludes the performance. Dr. Auslander has an announcement for you.
So as you know, at the end of this performance, we're now going to go upstairs to the ballroom. The academic panel will start at 7 o'clock sharp. We're really grateful to this extraordinary group of scholars that have assembled, both from Central and from other schools. So please join us. We do invite you to look at the materials that the students have assembled working with Professor Yoon. Professor Yoon wants you to know that the wonderful film that we saw most of, she is donating to the library, and in a few days it will be available there for all of you to look at. We want to thank Professor Jay Ball for organizing this reading, for the students and faculty for their extraordinary readings, and of course to all the members of the History Department for standing in solidarity with truth and evidence-based inquiry. Thank you all, and now please let's go upstairs. Again, please come and take a look at these wonderful materials and then come upstairs.
무슨 일을 하는데 계단을 끊었어요.